So welcome everyone to Moving Mindfully into Autumn. If you've been following me on social media, you know that this is always a tricky time of year for me and maybe for you as well. I love summer and I kind of don't love winter. So entering into fall feels to me like I need to make an effort to really be present. And that's what we're doing here for 5 days. So I'm going to invite you to stand just for a couple of minutes. And if standing doesn't work for you, you can sit, but we're just going to do a little bit of movement that will help us get embodied. And it's always easier for me to sit and sit still when I'm a little more in my body. So I'd like you to just take your feet a little bit wider, bend and straighten your knees a couple of times, do a couple of hip circles, just any movement that feels like you can just stretch and get into the skin of home. So just take a minute to just do some random movement. And then let's just shake our hands. Let's just shake hands and get some circulation going into our fingertips. Great way to wake up. Shake your hands out in front. Shake your hands out wide. Shake your hands up high. And then let's do 3 hard shakes. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And then just pause, close your eyes, and feel that tingling in your fingertips. That is you being alive. Yogis call that prana. That's your life force, making it all the way to your fingertips. Bring your fingers up to your shoulders, open your elbows out wide. Let's do a couple of circles here. So that prana, as long as we're breathing, it's always there under the surface. We're just not always aware of it. Let's make these a little bit bigger. You're going to bend your knees and then just open your arms up and out. These first few movements, if you just woke up, they might feel like a yawn. Go ahead and let a yawn or a sigh escape your lips. And then let your arms slowly reach back behind you, either towards each other or interlace. Open up here, take a tender back bend with a few breaths. And then release and shake again. Before we sit, we're going to do my favorite breath practice, which is called a breath of joy. So it's 3 sniffs in and 1 big exhale out. So it will look like this. Inhale, 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 and then you just throw it away on the exhale. So sniff, 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 ha. Few more. And then inhale all the way up. Take a deep breath in, hold the breath. Exhale, super slow motion, lower your arms. Beautiful, everyone. Touch your fingers to your elbows. Put a big bend in your knees. It's like you're sitting in a chair. We're going to start by resting our elbows on our thighs. And then just slowly drape your body down into a forward fold. You can let your fingertips fall to the floor, bend and straighten your knees. And then let's drop knees down to the ground. Here we'll just do a couple of lifting and lowering movements, cat and cow. Let's make sure our spine is ready for a sit. And then knees wide, press back to child's pose. Give your hips a quick little stretch right here. You can stack your fists under your forehead and just rest here for a moment. And in this pause here, start to bring to mind some kind of intention for your time here. This is the first day of autumn 2022. Press back up to tabletop and then bring yourself around to a seat. If you have a cushion or a block to put under your hips, that's super helpful. I like to scoot forward. It's almost like I'm falling off the edge of my cushion. And here's my little trick for sitting well. I put one leg down first, like one shin bone. So the knee is kind of pointing down. And then I just put the other foot in front of it. You might feel okay having a foot on top. Just kind of figure out what works for you to sit. We'll be here. We'll be sitting for about 7 minutes. Okay. So let's start with some gentle neck stretches as we ease our way into stillness. We'll continue to feel our body. You can close your eyes and just make these half circles left and right. So bringing our awareness to this idea of change, of transition. And if you're like me, we all have a tendency to get ahead of ourselves, and it's not winter yet. It's arguably the most beautiful time of the year. And I can have a tendency to miss it if I'm not really mindful and aware. Bring your head back to center, walk your hands behind you, and maybe rest on your fingertips or hands. Take a few giant breaths into the front of your body. Using the seasons as our teachers, we might look to the trees that right now, where I live, they're still covered with mostly green leaves. But I'm pretty sure the trees aren't clinging to those leaves. They might even be preparing in their mind that soon those leaves will change and move on gracefully. Gently release this stretch, bring the fingers out forward and come into a forward fold. Stretching now into the back of the body. And we will watch those leaves make their goodbye from the tree gracefully as well. I love the thought that autumn is the time when leaves are finally free. So with that in mind, is there an intention for something that you can find freedom around at this time of year? Moving back to a tall seat. Place your hands on your thighs and gently press the legs down. Feel this grounding sensation. You might even move your hands up so it really feels like you're planting yourself here. And then turn the palms up, soften the gaze, even close your eyes. And we'll enter a breath practice. I'd like you to bring to mind a picture of a tree and choose a tree that you know and love. Might be one in your yard. It could be a palm tree somewhere you visited. Just bring to mind a familiar tree. And picture this tree right now in this very season of life. Imagine its roots reaching down into the earth. Its branches lifting up towards sky. I'd like you for a moment to just imagine that you are this tree and you feel those roots so deeply connected to Mother Earth. As you inhale, imagine just drawing that prana up from Mother Earth through your body all the way to the very top of your head. And as you exhale, let that breath just wash down over you, almost like light rain on this tree, down into the earth. Continue this image. Breath coming up from deep in the earth through your roots, up your trunk and into your branches, your leaves, and back again down. I'm going to invite us to sit in silence for 3 minutes. And if and when your mind wanders, come back to this image of tree and breath. Keeping eyes closed, awareness inward. I invite you to bring your left hand to that soft place over your heart. If you like both hands, let your hands find that beating heart, those breathing lungs. Giving our awareness now to this inner place of wisdom. And in this quiet center, this place of wisdom, let's listen for a moment for some kind of insight. What does this wise teacher in here want you to know right now for this day? If something bubbles up, like a word or a phrase or an insight, hold on to that as truth and thank this wise self for its guidance and its insight. And perhaps even bring to mind one way that you can bring this insight into your life today, an action item. How can you make this insight meaningful and useful in the day ahead, in this season ahead? Let's gently bring our hands together in front of our hearts, this universal gesture of gratitude. I extend gratitude to you for pausing this morning with me to come inward, to listen to this wise inner wisdom. May you have a beautiful, safe, healthy day and a gentle transition into a new season. Namaste.